Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yamini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Baruch Chaim ben Mordechai, Edward ben Ephraim, Shlomo ben Edward, and Yerachmiel Daniel ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted and may their memories be a blessing. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of the Refuah Shalema of Shaul ben Edward, Abiyam ben Tova, Raphael ben Mazal, and Orna bas Lili. May they have a complete and speedy recovery. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Terumah, Gold and Grain. Our Parsha begins with God instructing Moshe Rabbeinu to accept donations from the Jewish nation for the construction of the Mishkan, a sanctuary where his presence would dwell in this world. They were asked to contribute gold, silver, and copper, precious stones, along with specialty dyed wools of red, blue, purple, as well as linen, animal skins, and acacia wood. Beyond the structure itself, they were commanded to make the Mishkan's holy kalim, the Mishkan's sacred vessels, each built from exact specification according to Hashem's commands. The Aron HaKodesh, the holy Ark of the Covenant, crafted from acacia wood and overladen with gold, and had a gold covering from both inside and out. The menorah, constructed from a single block of gold, was so intricate that God had to show Moshe a vision of it in its completed form. The Shulchan, the table built to hold the lechem upon him, known as the showbread, and the mizbeach for animal sacrifices, and the mizbeach hazahav, the golden altar for the daily keteris offering, the daily incense offering. On Har Sinai, God gave Moshe detailed instructions for building the Mishkan, and it's designed for portability. It could be assembled and disassembled as needed, traveling with the Jewish nation throughout the desert. The second half of the Parsha, along with the following Torah portions, meticulously outline its construction, ensuring that every element was made exactly to God's command. However, a question comes to mind. In previous years, we explored the Aron HaKodesh, the Holy Ark of the Covenant, that housed the luchos and represented the heart of the Mishkan. And this year, we turn to the next keli in line, the commanded in our Parsha, the Shulchan, the table. Placed within the holies, the Kodesh, it held the lechem upon him, the showbread, which was baked once a week and stayed fresh throughout the week and eaten on Shabbos. Like the Aron HaKodesh, the Shulchan was crafted from wood, overladen with gold, and encircled with a beautifully molded gold rim. But what was the true purpose and the inner meaning of the Shulchan? Why was it constructed in a similar fashion to the Aron HaKodesh? What is the Torah teaching us by designing the Shulchan with the same materials and the same crown as the vessel that contained the holy luchos itself? Rashi, Rav Shlomo Yitzchaki, the leading Torah commentary, gives us a simple explanation. And he quotes the Talmud in Yuma that teaches us that three special kalim, three special vessels in the Mishkan, were adorned with a golden crown. The Aron HaKodesh, the holy Ark of the Covenant, the Mizbeach, the large Mizbeach that animal sacrifices were burnt upon, and the Shulchan. And these crowns corresponded to three crowns bestowed upon the Jewish nation: the crown of Torah, the crown of Kohuna of priesthood, and the crown of Malchus of kingship. The Aron HaKodesh represented the crown of Torah, for it housed the luchos, which has the Ten Commandments. The Mizbeach represented the crown of Kohuna of priesthood, for only Kohanim were able to offer the sacrifices in the Mishkan and in the Beis Mikdash. And the Shulchan, encircled with a special, beautiful golden crown, represented the crown of kingship, the crown of material authority. And it's not just a table that held bread, it symbolized sovereignty sustained under God's dominion. Just as the Aron HaKodesh expressed spiritual leadership rooted in the divine wisdom of Hashem, the Shulchan expressed material leadership rooted in the divine will, in God's will. And so the bread resting upon it represented the sustenance that Hashem gives us, the wealth and the national stability, all crowned but framed within the sanctuary, within the Kodesh. Meaning that all of this material wealth had to be within the framework of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's will, of the Torah and his mitzvahs. However, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem ben Schneerson, gives us a deeper and more profound explanation. The Rebbe writes that Torah cannot dwell where material life is unstable, and material blessings can't endure without the Torah and without the mitzvahs. And the Shulchan's similarity to the Aron HaKodesh is not incidental, it's intentional. It teaches us that Torah and parnassah is working for money, are not competing forces, nor do they operate in separate spheres. They are both integrated expressions of divine service, each one sustaining, each one elevating the other. The Aron HaKodesh housed the luchos, the tablets, the Torah given directly from God. The Shulchan held the lechem upon him, bread baked by our human hands. One represents revelation from above, while other represents effort from below. And yet both were crafted from wood, both had gold, both were crowned and placed within the heichal, within the sacred space of the Mishkan. The Rebbe explains that human effort is not secondary to holiness. When our work is aligned to the divine will, it does not just support life, it itself becomes sanctified. And just as the Torah descends into the world, human effort ascends towards it, and when the two are bound together, material life itself becomes a keli, a vessel worthy of God's divine presence. A few psukim later, the Torah reveals what the ultimate purpose of the Mishkan is. Hashem says to Moshe, "Va'asu li mikdash v'shachanti b'seicham," and they shall make for me a sanctuary, says God, and I will dwell in them. The goal was never the structure itself, but the dwelling of the divine presence within our physical world. The Mishkan was built so God would not remain confined to the heavens, but would permeate our earthly experience. The Rebbe explains that revelation alone doesn't complete the dwelling, and effort alone doesn't sustain it. Only when the divine wisdom and human effort share the same structure, where they can occupy the same space, can the lower world, can our world become a true keli, a vessel for the upper world. And when the physical elements of life no longer conceal God's presence, but instead reveal it, we know we are at the precipice of Geula, we know we are at the precipice of redemption, because we have finally fulfilled God's purpose for our creation. In our daily life, it is imperative to realize that physical success and happiness do not automatically align unless purpose is woven into that success. When a person achieves material gain without anchoring it into higher meaning, it can quietly distort perspective, inflate ego, and blur priorities. And in a world saturated with distractions and endless comparisons, success without structure does not steady a person, it quietly destabilizes them. But when success is guided by principle, when success is grounded in perspective and connected to something greater than the self, it becomes elevated rather than consuming. And material achievement then serves a purpose instead of replacing the purpose. When prosperity is disciplined by direction, it allows a person not just to accumulate, but to build. It allows them to uplift, and it allows them to succeed far beyond what they once thought possible. There's a profound quote that I once read. Abundance reveals a man's loyalties more clearly than adversity. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos.
Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.